All right, what's up, everyone? I have been sidetracked. I'm sitting there watching movies and like, oh my God, the market, I gotta make a video. So here we go. We're gonna talk about some of the stocks that are powering my portfolio. Today was a great day for me, a absolute great day. I'll go ahead and show you one of my accounts. Come over here to the monitor tab and you can see right here to the right. Oh man. Love the action today. Here's my stocks, PayPal. Yeah, it's snow. We'll talk about some of those, but first let's go ahead and talk about the market. And it was an incredible day. I love the way it closed on high. Look at that bar. Look at that buying at the end of the day. Incredible day. So let's talk about it. Here is the heat map. Everything is popping. But funny thing, man. Funny thing. Google's not. Microsoft's not. Tesla's not, and I think they got a little bit of news from Apple that, Apple's getting ready to come their way. I don't know if that's why it's not up though, but that's my guess. Apple is up. Why? Because maybe they're getting ready to go Tesla's way. By the way, I don't even like, I'm not an Apple fanboy. I don't even usually make Apple trades, but for the news today and this whole car and I'm really, really bullish on Apple on the long term. I really think it changes the game in their business. We'll talk about that. So Apple, Netflix, everything is popping. Oh yeah. And I'm bullish on Netflix. Netflix is raising prices overseas. So we're going to look at that chart. So we're going to look at the charts, the stocks that are powering my portfolio. We're going to look at some FANG. We're going to look at the VIX. We're going to look at just a little bit of everything. So let's go ahead and get started. All right. So here we go, man. Let's go ahead and just pull up my chart. All right, so let's first look at Apple, and you can see looking at the weekly of Apple, and you can see how it's in a wedge here about to break higher. When it reported earnings, if I can zoom in here, it was a bad week, right? It just sold off. You got the news of the car today. I don't know. It's done. It didn't make a new low down here. So I think that's actually kind of bullish, and I think we can break out of this wedge and go higher. And I'm really, really bullish. Really bullish on what Apple had to say. I'm starting to think of trades that I can place for the long term. I come over here to my trade tab and looking at the options, the most I could go out is 17 March 23, and then the strikes, the most they have is 210. So I'm thinking about trying to capture everything from now to 210. And look, you could do that. You could buy this 140 call and you can come here and sell this 210 call. Right? And I got that trade set up right here. And that's only going to cost you $16.88. That's $1,688. If you go to the Analyze tab, you could check it out. The most you can win on that is $5,312. And of course, the most you could lose is the amount of money that you put into the trade. And that's $16.88. So I'm thinking about every time I get $1,600, I want to go ahead and put this trade on and just try to collect all of this until the 2023. And if you're interested, the break even, if you want to know where it needs to go to just break even, for the most part, $157, you break even on the trade. I think Apple's going to reach $157 by the year 2023. Let's look at the monthly, and incredible, right? Nice up, like up, wedge, up, wedge. I just see another up along that line too. I see it actually maybe even being kind of steep, right? So that's Apple. I'm going to talk about Facebook real quick, and I'm going to pull up the daily. All right, so Facebook has been a wedge, and this is something that's been common with the FANGs, that the stocks that have been going sideways have been going sideways, right? And I was thinking earnings was going to pop them out, but it didn't, and it makes me kind of worry. The only one that popped out of this channel for the most part was Google. And Google, it's struggling right now, but it did pop out of the channel. So I like it. Facebook, oh man, it was weak. It powered up into earnings. It's getting weak again. For some reason, I just don't like Facebook. It's not looking good in the charts. I think Facebook is no play. There's no play on Facebook until it gets out of this channel. Don't worry, if it busts the high at 305 up here, it's going to run. It's going to have a long way to go. Let's pull at Amazon. I actually sold some Amazon. I had some shares, not many because this thing is like a $3,000 stock, but I had some shares on Amazon, and I'm going to pull up let's pull up something. let's pull up the 4-hour, and I'm going to clear all of this out. And when it reported earnings, it popped about 2%, and it just started dropping. I did not like that action at all. It was a little of a reversal, but today, kind of a little comeback. So I'm kind of watching this like, and here's the trend. And here's the trend right there. So, you can see it's kind of still holding that trend. Maybe we can even draw a secondary line. So Amazon is okay. It did not break out of that channel either. And you can see that right here. So we're waiting for something to happen there. Let's keep an eye on Amazon. I think it's a little early to jump on, but you could kind of accumulate. But once this thing breaks out of this channel, I think it's all aboard on Amazon. All right, let's talk about Google. Bring up Google real quick. Boom. You see what I'm talking about? Look at how it's just out of the channel, breaks free. This is the weekly chart. One more day to fulfill that. So let's go to the daily, and you can see that gap, right? The gap, it was down today on a huge day, but that's okay. It's out of the channel. We got a big gap here. I actually think Google's going to start drifting and almost fill that gap. Okay. I don't know if it comes all the way down to here, but I think it's going to kind of drift down into this gap before it actually goes higher. Google always gives you a chance, always gives you a chance to buy it, because it always has these sell-offs, and you could see them, shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Back out of there. You could see them here. Google always gives you a chance to get in. So no rush to get into Google. It's not just going to run away from you. Now, here's some stock that is, wait a minute. No, let's bring up Tesla. I don't own any Tesla. Tesla did not participate in the rally today. They heard, Apple's getting ready to make this car with Hyundai, and it's probably going to be all that. I mean, Apple, it doesn't even have to be all that. All the Apple fanboys are going to, if they had a choice to buy a Tesla or Apple, they get an Apple. They get an iCar, whatever the hell they're going to call it. So I really like the news. Bull flag right here on Tesla, but it's in a channel, and it does that. So let's just see what happens. I don't think you can play any of these stocks until it breaks out of these channels right here. But channeling is a good thing, because it's not going down. I always say, hey, trade sideways action. I always say that as long as it's going sideways, it's not going down. That's a good thing. So you can accumulate these things. You can accumulate Tesla, but just be careful, because it starts breaking out of that channel, it's probably going to just start trending lower. But if it breaks to the upside, we know what this thing can do when the rockets are glaring. All right, this thing could firepower to the next new level. So that's Tesla. Let's talk about some of the stocks that are powering my portfolio. At least today, Lulu, man, this has been a disappointment since I actually tried to get in way up here, where I did get in. I won't say try. I actually sold my Nike to do that, and look, it's just been. So this is a shitty call by me. I still like it. Don't get me wrong. I'm still in it. I'm chill. I'm laid back. I think it eventually, you can see I come out to the monthly. You can see, get rid of all of this stuff so y'all can really see what's going on. You can see it's just doing that sideways action, just like all the other stocks. And I do think this thing breaks up to the upside. They actually came out. Lulu actually came out and reported. Let's see. Here we go. They expect its profits and sales for the fourth quarter to be at the high end of its prior guidance, driven by demand over the holiday period. They said on Monday that the adjusted earnings per share to grow at a high end of its mid-single digits expectation. It sees net revenue growing at the high end of its mid to high teens expectations. So therefore, these guys, they saying, hey, we're doing good. We're making more money than we thought we were going to make. And the stock's been selling off ever since. So I don't know what that's all about. But when earnings comes, we might even get a surprise on top of that. And that will really be good news. And that's probably going to power the stock. So I like Lululemon. And that's one of the stocks that kind of powered my portfolio today. Another one is the IBB. I think this thing, you see this channel right here? You see this trend right here? I actually think we're going to get another one of these. Another one of these moves. It went parabolic there for years. for years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, six years straight up for the most part, and then 7 years sideways. I think we're going to get another one of those parabolic moves that just kind of take off. And I'm in the IBB. I think it's better than playing any single stock in the biotech area, right? Protect yourself with an ETF when you're in this area, because these guys can report news. They can report some disappointing trial and the stock's down 50% overnight. Okay, this thing will protect you, but you'll still get the same kind of alpha you'll get as any kind of single stock thing. And I pointed this out a long time ago. You can see all my lines, and this is what I expect. See, when it breaks out of these channels, long multi-year channel, it's gonna go. It's gonna go. The pressure is released, right? So that is the IBB. Another stock, Intuitive Surgical, ISRG. So I haven't looked at this one in a while, but I just know it's up 1.56% today. You can see that sideways action, kind of like the IBB, right? Broke out of there, kind of coming up, little sideways right there. Now it's starting to kind of go up again. It had a disappointing, I don't know what happened with earnings. All I know is it sold off, and I think we can catch our ground here and start to take it higher, right? One of the other stocks, Booking Holdings. I talked about this. This is, to me, the ultimate return, go back to work or whatever they call it, economy opening stock. I think once these, vaccines are happening, vacation, these guys are going to start to blow. It had a terrible month for the most part. It's been coming down, but you can see it hit the bottom of that channel right here, right? And it's going to start to head up. I like that. And I think it does ultimately break out and then goes to the upside. And of course, its partner, Airbnb, who's just IPO'd not too long ago. Let's pull up the daily. This thing has just been on fire. I'm not in any options in this, but I am in the stock. Okay, so I'm making some gains. I want to pull back in this thing, and maybe I can kind of put some options on this trade. But this thing has just been fire. I don't know when it's going to report. And I have no idea what it's going to do. But you remember I did that trade where it was a monthly, a yearly, some leap options. And basically, I'm going to double my money if this thing stays above 150 for the next year. And it looks like it has no. I was actually too conservative with that trade. So that's another stock that's been powering my portfolio. Let's look at Shake Shack, man. Shake Shack, same thing. What do we got? This thing was up $4.70 today, and boom, look at that. So sideways action. It had a little, I think it got caught up in that short squeeze thing from the Wall Street bets, and it kind of sold off. But we're getting some sideways action. This thing is going to head higher, man. It's going higher, okay? It's going to be choppy. It's not going to be a smooth ride, but it's going higher. And its counterpart, Starbucks, another stock, look like it's getting ready to break out here. Had another terrible week this is the monthly last month. And let me kind of clear this up. Look at all that drawing. What was I trying to draw? A dinosaur? But you can see that little sideways action on the monthly, right? It's going to break out of there and head higher. So this is something that you can actually accumulate and go higher. Look at the moving averages, just steady. You have all that chop, and for the most part, you can almost draw a straight line on that purple, right? Right there. It's doing its thing, man. It's doing its thing. So that's what's been going on with me. I am in the AMD waiting for something to happen. Waiting for something to happen, but it's going sideways too. We got earnings coming up on, April 27th. That's right. They reported already, and it's kind of been sluggish ever since. And another stock that's about to report in a couple of weeks is NVIDIA. Look at the monthly here. And this is a stock that gave me a little power today, not much, but that's a huge bull flag right there. And I project this thing to just blow out of there and go higher, man. That thing, look where my projection is. I think that thing reaches 800. I think it's going to do something like that. And we'll see. Maybe we find out that NVIDIA is putting in the cars. They're going to be doing the autopilot, whatever, for the Apple cars, and then take off to the moon. So anyway, I don't know. I just threw that out there. But the the chart is saying that something like that is going to happen. It's for the scenario, right? It's going to be some kind of good news that just powers this thing up to 800. Remember, that's my price target that I've come up with just by looking at the charts. All right, so anyway, that's the video, man. Tell me what you think. Tell me what, if you like any of these stocks, what are you trading? These are some of the stocks that I'm trading, some of the stocks that I'm watching, because I'm not in all of them. But what I really want to get in is that Apple, and I showed you the trade that I'm looking at. I would really hope that they would open up more strikes on Apple, because Apple is going higher. You know, we talking 2 years out, and these guys are only up to the 210. I come up here 771 days out, and the highest I can buy is 210. Come on now, we know Apple's going higher than that. So that's what I'm looking at. And just tell me what you think. I appreciate everyone watching. Sorry the video's late. Comment, subscribe, share, and I'll get with you guys later, man. Hey, I'm gonna do a live video this weekend, so be sure to stay tuned for that. How do you stay tuned for that? You have to hit the bell. All right, so thanks for watching. I'm on Dre Trades. Instagram, Twitter's the name, and I'm out. Peace.